It's a Bitcoin podcast. The only one that's making your money is you. Listen to the Bitcoin podcast. So hold on and listen to the Bitcoin podcast.
Hey, everybody, welcome to the Bitcoin Podcasts.
We are Bitcoin.
We are the Bitcoin Podcast. I'm the host that usually talks first.
Look at Jesse go, just pounding that
D.
protein shake.
Passing. Corey would be.
I'm the second host.
All
Dr.
right.
Corey Betty.
And I'm the third host, Jesse.
And we are the Bitcoin Podcast. That's the riff
It didn't.
for us.
I didn't hear that. Just like cut out. What?
He made that with his mouth.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep. Did you hear it the second time?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, guys, season 2, episode 7. We got 393 episodes to go in this season to keep up with our first season, which was 400 episodes long.
400 episodes. To be fair, we did those 400 episodes in like pretty fast. We were so consistent
We were.
for those 400 episodes.
We're different now. We have different, aging. We age now.
not me.
Listen,
Apparently, I
sit
look
up
20,
at the 7-Eleven
20-something.
drinking a 40 and open Gangnam style.
Gangnam.
Oppa-
That's like
Oppa
a
Gangnam
bougie
style?
area.
Where do you think
South
that?
Korea.
You think that song came from?
It came from bougie Koreans, right?
I think it was a
Or
joke,
Japanese?
though. I think it was making fun of people. It was the
He's
whole.
from there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was like the whole thing was making fun of a different culture.
Sai.
Just
Sai
making
is
fun
from
of
Gangnam.
bougie people, right?
Is it bougie?
I think it would. I mean,
Yes, he says
I feel
yes.
like
Yep.
bougie people are easy to make fun of, though, because they don't realize. Like, I'm bougie now. Like, I went to a restaurant and walked out because
Did you really?
there were flies, and I thought I don't think that's bougie, but people were calling me bougie because the people that I were eating with were like military people. So they were like, I've had to eat food off the ground. I eat MREs with dirt in the rocks in the soup, and I'm like, yeah, but I'm a civilian, 100%. I'm not gonna eat in this restaurant where there are flies. And they're, oh, you're being bougie, man. You're used to the good life over here. And I was like, well, thank you for the good life, military person. I appreciate that. Thank you for your service. But
Look at that. We
Not
got comments in
gonna
the little
eat
bottom right. That's neat.
yeah, man, StreamYard
didn't realize
their
We're
stuff.
live. We're live.
Live.
But when most of you watch this, it probably won't be live. It'll be
No.
like weeks back.
So, I mean, we could talk about some crypto stuff. There's not a lot going on. I mean, well, there's always a lot going on, but like nothing that's gonna cause like world riveting news anymore with crypto. I think
Yeah.
crypto's days of world riveting news.
What do you mean?
are
Tether
in
is
the
raising
rearview.
20 billion at a
Yeah,
500
it's a pretty
billion
big one.
valuation. What do you?
Tether.
Ooh, $20 billion. Ooh, we see
500
that shit like
billion
every
evaluation.
fucking month.
You don't?
$500 billion.
It's
Numbers
an
don't mean
evaluation
anything anymore.
on the size of OpenAI, which is like one of the largest companies out there.
If numbers don't mean anything anymore, if one individual can get a $2 trillion paycheck, numbers don't mean anything anymore. They don't mean
He hasn't
anything.
gotten yet. That
$1
that's the
paycheck.
bonus that he's. So Elon negotiated a $2 trillion, like the same way that he negotiated his previous bonus performance.
$2 trillion.
Yeah.
$2 trillion is what
but he has
they
to hit
want to
it.
pay this man.
I mean, that's the thing. If you're that good, you can
If he gets
command
paid
that
that much, I'm starting the riots myself because that's
Why?
that's unnecessary. Okay, that's at a point that's unnecessary.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
starting
like
the
a get
riots
good.
myself.
What does that
No,
good
you know,
mean?
it's
No one needs that
fucking
much money.
absurd.
Like think about like Dota players, right? Like they like good ones, they can win millions. Get good, right?
No, it's not get good. It breaks down the fabric of society. It's not get good. Oh, I make $2 trillion. I'm that good at being good. No, Elon suck my balls. Nobody's worth that much money. It's breaking down the fabric of society. It's gonna destroy things. Okay, that's it. You can't have people get paid that much, and then at the same end, you got people making $15 an hour delivering burritos to people that make that much. It's gonna break down the fabric of society, bro. There is no get good. Nobody's that good. And I'll say that until the day I die. All right. Hard stop. $2 trillion.
It's
He
for
does
sure
not
get good.
feel strongly
For
about
sure
this.
get good. Like,
Yeah, get good. Yeah, okay.
I believe in if you can perform that well, then you can get that. That's fine.
Is it performance?
Okay, so what about the thousands of people that allow him to perform that well that aren't going to get paid anything near that amount?
That's just him being greedy. But
No,
like,
that's just
like,
shitty, is what it is.
if he
So
can
good, my
negotiate that
ass.
and he can help the companies
Oh
hit
yeah,
that
he's really
performance,
good with words, so he deserves $2 trillion. Yeah,
dude,
suck
why
my
are
dick,
you
Elon
mad?
Musk.
Why are you
$2
mad?
trillion.
It's not
I
even
remember at some
I don't
point
understand that concept.
a couple weeks ago
Yeah.
we're talking about the podcast, and you're like, I'm gonna be professional now.
Oh yeah, that was right.
And we
Sorry,
did not
bleep
hold
this
on to
out.
that whatsoever.
You gotta bleep this out. You gotta bleep this out, me.
Yeah, okay.
Future me. You gotta bleep this out. Anyways, yeah. So let me be more professional when I say this. There's not a single person on this planet that's worth getting paid $2 trillion. Okay. That breaks down the fabric of society, that breaks down all the unwritten rules of us being able to come together and commune as human beings. When you have someone on the other end of that scale making $15 an hour to serve lightly salted French fries, it's never going to work. Society will break down, right? And so what has to happen is these ultra wealthy people need to start getting comfortable with the fact that wealth needs to be redistributed in a way that it benefits the most to have the most, because that is sheer basic economics. You cannot have the fabrics of economics break down because one person wants to be super duper rich and die on Mars. I'm sorry. We're going to eat him. I'm going to be I'm going to be the person storming Elon Musk's castle so we can eat his toes. All right,
The
we're going
weird
to
thing
eat
to
the
say out
rich.
loud.
That
Eat the
is
rich.
really wow. Yeah,
Eat the
I don't give a
rich.
fuck. Like, more power to you if you can make that happen. I don't really care.
He's chilling, but okay. Now on to other things. Tether raised $20 billion. Yay.
No,
Trying to.
they're raising 20 billion on a $500 billion valuation.
Why don't they just do what Sailor does?
For what? Let's talk about why. Why are they doing that?
I think they're making an exchange, right? They're like formalizing like a bank exchange kind of entity. I'm not really sure.
They're making a stable coin.
We have
USDT.
the technology.
Yeah.
USDTU. I don't know. You just strap.
There's definitely a separate stable coin for sure. You're right, D.
Yeah.
There is a new stable
Strap
coin
labels together, and then you stable coin. And
You
then
know what's really
Superman
surprising?
3.
God, I hate all these
Cloudflare is going to issue a stable coin. I didn't see
What?
that one.
No.
That one's weird.
Well,
yeah.
This is
Cloudflare is gonna
Andreas
issue a
talked about
stable
this
coin.
many moons ago, and that is everybody who has the means is going to release a token, and they're going to make fractions of a penny, and it's just going to body out banks, and it's going to body out the Visas and the MasterCards of the world.
But I don't know if he said it was going to be a stable coin. Is that what he said, or was it?
Well,
was
I think he was so
suspecting it
early,
like
he didn't say it was a stable coin, but he knew it was going to be some type of cryptocurrency, right? And that's just what we're looking forward to. In a day, what is it called? We're gonna be spending Google dollars at the grocery store sometime here soon, and there's nothing that anybody can do anything about it. I don't think. I don't know. Would you guys rather spend Google dollars or Meta dollars?
neither.
Neither.
Well, you're not gonna have a choice, so I'm gonna ask you right now in advance.
Yeah, you just spend Bitcoin.
Which one would you rather spend?
Is it like pay my taxes or just what? Like for what?
I don't know, man. I
I
see
don't
all those
need
people.
Google or Meta.
I don't know. Hold on, let me throw this out. I see all those people who quote unquote got good, buddying shoulders up with all the world leaders at all these famous dinners around all the world all the time. So we're not gonna have a choice. We're gonna have to spend somebody's dollars.
Sure,
It's gonna be Google dollars or Meta dollars, or
like if you think about whenever I think about money or spending money, I definitely see it going back to more of like I'm spending whatever currency that is appropriate for for the service I'm consuming. Like if with Bitcoin, it really changed my brain in terms of thinking about money in a lot of ways. In that I think about holding something that can't be manipulated, much as possible. So that tends to be cryptocurrencies. Unfortunately, that's a little more volatile than other things to hold. And when I want to spend something, I convert it to whatever's the services I'm using that requires it. So like if I'm talking about my taxes, let's convert it to US dollars and whatever the hell awful CBDC the US makes. It's what I spend whenever I go traveling, I convert it to something else and use that. But like now, even more so as crypto proliferates and US dollar sinks in evaluation and whatever, or that I think the ability to think that way is more useful.
Well, it appears that Ken also agrees with me that Elon can make a buttload because YOLO, and he's going to come on, dialing in from Gangnam, drunk as fuck, to talk a little bit more about
I want to hear
aspects
about
of
this.
Tether that
I
we
wanna
don't
hear
know.
why
we
it's
don't know?
okay.
Yeah, that we don't know.
I'm reading the Decrypt press release on this. I still haven't figured out what exactly they're trying to do.
The reason why I
Apparently
get
Ken
so
knows.
unexcited about stablecoin news is because it is nothing different. It's just a repeat of history. There's nothing new
Yeah, but
that's
things need
going
to
to
be
be
stable.
offered.
Things need to be stable. You want
What
like,
does that even mean? Nothing is stable. Come on, physics guy.
He's right. He's right.
What does that even mean? Nothing is
It's relatively
right.
stable. It's a relatively. I'm sorry you don't understand relative things, but if you're ever going to build a business that has to plan, you at least need to be able to understand that what you have in terms of goods and services and what you've stocked up is going to be worth the amount of value that you think it is when you need to get rid of it.
So
You need
first of
relative
all,
stability to relative to the timeline in which you're doing things.
so I'd like to add to the audience so they know this. I've been a COO, so I know a thing or two about planning and forecasting. And let me tell you something. Stability is in the eye of the beholder. Okay? There's no stability. You work through the volatility of it all.
And
You
how
come
much
up with
easier
your
is it
plan.
when it's not volatile? How much easier is it when it's not volatile?
It's no less volatile because then you have harder decisions to make. Like, what do we do with these giant piles of money that we didn't expect to have? What do
We have
do with
more
these-
money?
What
Oh
do we do with these easy decisions? Those are not easy decisions. You think those are easy choices? Those are tough choices as well.
No, we have all this money to figure out what to do with because things are stable. Get the fuck out
Those
of
are-
here.
Those are not easy decisions either. Like, oh shit, things are stable, right? But now we have all this money and we have too many people.
Please.
Well, shit.
We're so successful. What are we gonna do? It's been stable.
Can you,
What
can you
terrible
guys hear me by
problem.
chance?
Yeah, we hear you. What's
Yeah,
up,
yeah,
bro?
we
Okay, we
can
have a
hear you.
guest. We have a
sick,
guest.
sick. So like I'd love to start like
Hey.
a high overview here. First of
Wait,
all,
wait, man,
thank
you're
you
getting way
for
too into it.
letting
We
me
got to
join in.
showify this shit a little bit. Hey, Ken. Hey, Ken. Welcome to the Bitcoin podcast. Where are you calling in from? Are you a first
I'm
time
calling
caller,
in
long time
from
listener?
Yes, sir. No, second time caller. I was on hashing it out in
Yeah, buddy.
2019. Quite a bit. I had
Cybercore.
5 lines then. Yes, sir. It was such a great show. I mean,
Five
it was really
lines.
cool. We talked about decentralization and how AWS is all the way down, and unfortunately, here we are today with proof of stake at this time. But that's another conversation. I would love to start from a high overview here. So I've been talking to a lot of institutions from a stablecoin matter, and unfortunately, regulatory confinement and where the red tape is, you're like, oh fuck, why is Tether raising all of this? Well, let's start from where they started, right? It was such a shit show, personally speaking. And to be able to instrument and kind of accumulate all this capital and all of this capital interest over time with a team of like 13 to 20, and then become one of the largest stable coins in this industry sector. Over time you have to have some sort of treasury or some sort of ambition to get over these new regulatory hurdles once the world takes you a little bit more serious. And I think at that point, that's where this raise comes into effect. Which, do I think they're biting off more than they need? Yes. Sorry. I know I'm like in the middle of a potential partnership agreement with them, but like, sorry guys, the raises, you don't need that much, but you do need some, right? So getting over that hurdle, I think that a lot of people fail to forget that when you're trying to deal with institutional, POVs such as the US government, the EU, the UN, whatever you want to say, it's quite expensive. and making sure that you're following the right guidelines and all this other stupid shit. It can be quite hectic. So that's just my personal perspective on like why Tether is doing this raise and why they're trying to expand their ambitions a little bit deeper. Because I feel like they're trying to be a Circle competitor, and right now they don't have the infrastructure for that, personally speaking. And I think that with this new ambition, that's essentially where they're aiming at, which is, I think it'd be great to have a USDT and a USDC. Too much centralization from a stablecoin perspective is just not good. It's not a good show. It's not good business. So if we have two major players, it'd be great.
I have three questions. One, I think Tether is a conspiracy by the NSA that the U.S. is allowed to exist for a long period of time, but maybe I'm absolutely wrong.
Step one,
I thought
conspiracy.
that. Okay, yeah, nice.
and because like, have they ever been really audited?
I mean, no.
I know. I don't think so. I don't think they have been audited to the extent that we'd require somebody such as, homegrown talent. Yeah, I'm the skepticism. Yeah, the skepticism definitely should be there. I agree with you there for sure.
And then when you say they don't have the similar infrastructure to Circle in terms of what does that actually mean?
Yeah, it's such a hand wavy comment. I know. I would say, where they're located, it's about 16 employees. You're not accomplishing as much as you would if you were, kind of like a 1,000 employee base at SF. Having the capital runway like Circle does, the connections that Circle does, and from a government standpoint, because it's all regulatory, practices at that point. I mean, especially when it comes to execution layer of people, of individuals. You got to make sure that you have the right people in the right areas. But yeah, I would just say that's probably the best response. Considering that I'm not a reg fi guy. That's just not my thing. I've dealt with the SEC once. Fuck that. Never again. But
I remember that.
That's yeah, that was quite a show. But yeah, no, I couldn't I don't know. I couldn't give you a really accurate answer in that sense.
Okay, so then my third question is, in terms of legitimizing the operation, as you were saying that this raise is aiming to do, who are the people who are actually contributing to that capital, that 20 billion?
That's a good question. If you follow USDT's timeline, you'll understand that Justin Sun is that's his baby. So
interesting.
That feels compromising.
Yeah. Yeah.
Say the least.
Very compromising.
It's like if you're not like squinting at that one, then you should be.
Yeah, it's shit. I'm getting in trouble.
Tether is Justin Sun's baby.
I mean,
I didn't know that.
Show. Even said it from that's the first thing you said. Tether's a shit show. It started as a shit show.
Yeah,
so Tether has the most transactional volume on Tron, and Tron is Justin Sun's. Justin Sun has been doing like a lot of acquisitions.
Justin Sun is China Ethereum.
Yeah. And on top of that, he is Southeast Asia cabal in that sense. We'll get
Isn't he a felon?
on that one?
I mean, he's probably lots of things.
Yeah, he's a lot of things. He's also Your Excellency. What is he like? Geneva, some government official. It's super hilarious where this guy's timeline is.
What happens when you make a bunch of fake money and then
you protect everybody,
surveil and control, and
it's almost like when there's too much money out there, the fabric of society stops making sense.
That's for sure.
Right?
Well, D has the answer. You just make things less stable, and you can't forecast it all. So then you can't do business, and it's fine.
Yeah,
that's not my answer.
Is like
I didn't say any of that.
Yes, she did.
Objection, Your Honor. I said nothing is stable. I don't know if I said I want to introduce instability.
You said nothing is stable. When I said the reason for stability, you're like, yeah, because you end up with too much money and success.
Yeah, you said you wanted to eat Elon Musk's toes, bro.
Oh yeah, that's just from a movie that I saw.
You
I
did
don't
say
want
that. You're right. You're right again.
Look, it's
I mean,
it's just
I-
that's
I'm
from a
with you
movie
there.
that I saw.
Yeah.
Like they were like "Eat the Rich" or something like that. It was pretty
And
funny.
you just
Yeah,
with toes?
just the
Huh?
toes were pretty funny.
I don't think that's what they meant. When they said "eat
I-
the rich." They just like let's like dine on their toes. Was like the first thing. Like that's
We're not gonna go down that
the
conversation. That's a
image.
conversation that gets you canceled. I think. That's
Eating
a-
toes.
No,
So-
sucking toes is fine, but you eat them. That's different.
You said these words. These are your words.
I understand that, but
So for,
I
for
plead
me
the fifth.
personally, with
Digging
the
the grave.
Bitfinex conversation and the USDT
Yep.
alignment, and again, like I say this, and it's probably going to bite me in the ass, but like, the connection to JSON and like, this quote unquote, Southeast Asian cabal is very extensive, and people kind of underestimate how deep it runs. And then from that perspective, you have the USDT alignment with several different ecosystems. And what is the one last hurrah that USDT would essentially need? And that's a legitimizing raise that aligns more with the US government as well as the UN and so on and so forth, with miscellaneous agendas that get them these clearances. And it's just like JSON's final sunset, right? So that's just like conspiracy theory there. But like at the end of the
he
day, if
got
you follow the
friggin'
money, it
pardons.
really does make sense,
Every day.
Make
more
more
and
money.
I'm
That's
just
how
like,
that's how it works.
Yeah, once you make a certain amount of money, it's just like, you either
Escape
become
velocity.
you either become a Musk or you become a Jack Ma or whatever his name was.
Yep.
It's one or the other. But yeah, no
So
toes.
lame.
Yeah,
It's so lame. It is. It's
it, re-
very.
it
It's
really
a
does.
very
It really
lame.
does suck. I think so, but I also think it's going to help a lot of people, especially when we have an international recognized asset from a stablecoin perspective, because when you're trying to interact from a B2B perspective, and I know it's 2025, but like making simple payments across borders is actually still a pretty big fucking issue.
Well, it's
Especially
not a
from a
big issue
consumer
because of.
perspective.
But it's not a big issue because of technology. It's a big issue because
No,
I mean
no, it's all
I have very
regulatory.
good friends. I have very good Cuban friends here where I live,
Yeah,
and they would
yeah,
say like,
gotcha.
"Hey, it's as easy as this. I send $100 home, and 99 goes to the Cuban government. One goes to my family.
it's
So
bullshit.
that's why we get on boats and come over here to Miami. Like that's
Yeah.
what it is. It's got nothing to do with technology. It's got to do
I
with
think-
human entities.
I mean,
I think it's a little bit of
it does
both.
technology because the technology allows for the human entities to intervene.
yeah,
and
but
it kind of-
even if
kind of
there was some
piggybacking-
mystical, go ahead, Ken.
Yeah. So, like, kind of piggybacking off Corey on that one, when the CCP took over Hong Kong, I had a lot of friends who were coming back to the United States. They couldn't bring a lot of assets with them, but one thing that they did bring was Bitcoin. When you have a PK in your wallet, embedded in a file or some bullshit, like people didn't know. But if I went out there with like, oh hey, I got like 5 Rolexes and like 100 racks and all this other shit, like people were getting pulled aside, like, hey, you can't, it's not happening. You're not leaving there with this. So like I think when it comes from a government standpoint, I think what kind of brought us all here today is like that distributed access network of like being able to move money from point A to point B without necessarily having this government restriction. And I think the stablecoin does introduce a little bit more regulatory confinement around that, but it also does enable more freedom of access and not having to worry about, like, let's say if I'm going from like, I don't know, like Syria to Lebanon, if I have a bunch of USDT, like I'm chilling. Like, it's probably at that point, it's probably going to be insured in 5 years, just like if it was a bank transfer. So yeah, I think there's just different perspectives to it,
I mean, I don't
One thing
disagree
that-
with you, but I think governments get smarter over time. Like everyone thinks
Yeah.
governments are these monolithic big dummies, but there's some incredibly
No.
intelligent people that work with these
Yeah.
government entities. Probably the
Yeah.
smartest
Yeah.
on the planet Earth. And
Yeah.
once they figure it out, like there's a reason why stable coins are proliferating right now because they want to know every transaction that happens everywhere at any time on this planet or the next. And once
Yeah.
they know that, they're going to do the same things. They're going to say, oh, who are you? You're walking in here with some FUBU jeans from 2002. Oh, you looking poor? Let me just take a look at all the blockchains at once. Oh, shit. You're actually worth $5 million. Yeah, you're not going anywhere. Right?
Yeah.
Like,
No,
it's
I completely agree with you there. Yeah.
like we've created the last boss. And I guess it's okay because we're on his team. Like, we're the little lemmings that go out and fight the people trying to beat the last boss, I guess. And
We are
like, they
not.
have
Yeah.
a really hard time
I mean, it's
fighting
like
the last
hit.
We are
boss.
not.
Yeah.
But like, I mean,
I feel like I'm playing both sides sometimes, especially, past experience with like Trilobits, like working with some of these individuals who were aligned with like the US Gov side and like working from like the blockchain department. Like it was really nice, kind of like learning where everybody's heads at from an institutional perspective. But like at the end of the day, you kind of got to realize like we're playing both sides of the field sometimes, unfortunately.
Well,
But yeah, that's just
understanding
my two
both
cents.
sides is
Yeah,
useful
yeah.
for conducting yourself appropriately. Like, so I'd like to understand. For me to make good decisions, I need to know as much as I can. And if you
Of
just
course.
assume as much as you can about the other side, then you're going to make bad decisions about it.
Yeah. No, that makes more sense. That's a sober mind for you.
you guys try to raise 20 billion real quick? Let's launch a stable.
I'm down.
Say
We
less.
could probably hire a
Yeah,
podcast producer.
let's
Let's
do an
launch a
have
stable,
you guys
baby.
have you guys seen the Astura or whatever, the new, it's like the Chinese Hyperledger or
No.
Hyperliquid? Sorry.
No.
Dude, that chart
I've
went up
heard
like
of it.
3,000%. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you've heard of it, Jesse. I mean, you're more of a
No.
Deegan too. Yeah, this thing went
Deegan?
up like
Yeah.
Deegan, sorry.
No, a
You a
deacon
Jeff
is,
guy.
a deacon is established. A deacon is demure. A deacon is demure, but a deacon, no.
Yeah.
Demure.
I like that. But yeah, so Aster was like the hyperliquid narrative, but coming from a different region in that sense. And that's kind of been a little bit of a play if like you look into like the social aspect of things over the last 2 weeks, is like people launching these hyperliquid, I would say alternatives into different ecosystems. And yeah, trading those has been instrumental for some people.
I
We're
just
very
like
lucky people.
to riff on I think Corey and D don't have enough conversations with people in the community of the podcast to understand how degen some people really are.
Oh, I know some of these people
Yeah.
that are heavily degenerate. Even people
Oh,
in the
man.
organization I work for. I just don't do it. I understand it. I just don't do
Yeah.
it.
I don't even want to be introduced to it. Like I
No,
have
I want you
no.
guys to be more in the trenches, man. I mean, like, I think that helps a lot of like the exposure
I
side.
am in the
too.
trenches. I'm in the deep
No,
infrastructure technology trenches.
Yeah,
I don't.
You get in the trenches, you poke your head
you're
up,
in
and you get
the
shot.
absolute
Yeah.
trenches. Yeah, no, I
He's
know,
not at
I
the
know, I
in the
know.
application layer trenches.
Yeah,
Ken.
yeah,
He's in the we build
User
privacy tech
land.
trenches.
Yeah, no, I get that completely. I meant more so of like the current narratives and kind of like maybe
Yeah.
places you don't want to be involved with, Like, I mean,
Yeah,
I get
yeah.
that.
I
might
pick my head up
also
and have
be
some
a
fun,
good
and I say that was fun, and then I go back down into my little hole, and I stay there for a while.
Oh no, I completely get that. That's me like every 3 months. I pop out, get involved, start doing nonsense, trading or whatever.
just-
And then like I'm like, all right, it's almost Christmas. I'm done.
I made a bunch of money off cock. That was fun, and then I sold it and walked away.
Yep.
Oh,
He bounced on it
man.
and then rotated off of it.
That's a good one.
I'll never be professional. Anyways, good night. I can't get in the trenches, man, because when you're in the trenches, you lift your head up, you get shot in the face. I don't have time.
That is
I don't have
absolutely
time.
true. I have had such insatiable runs and then like get absolutely obliterated. And then I'm just like, wow, that was a waste of 24 hours.
Yeah, and then like I don't have time for people hacking my PlayStation.
Here's a good
controller,
question.
And then my life is gone.
Here's a good
Like,
question for
yeah.
you. That's actually a good point. So that 24 hours, are there lessons learned, or are you just like, oh, okay, that was a waste of time? You just move on and do it again, or like, are you growing as an individual when you do these 24-hour goon sessions?
Honestly, a goon sesh, that's a good one. Honestly, yeah, patience is a virtue. And I feel like kind of being on that edge and being able to expand into like maybe this meta is not going to be beneficial in the next 12 hours from that 24-hour session, right? Being able to cut your gains and your losses and making sure that's like that time of attention, because everything's like zoomer now, right? Like everything needs to be just like instantaneous. a meta's, every 3 days, kind of like I mentioned the last, 2 weeks or a week or so. It's like the Astro nonsense. Um, yeah, I would say every time period is a reflection of beneficial for me personally, because it's just like you learn something, right? Either you were impatient or you were, not in necessarily the clearest head to make an execution on a trade, and it's like now you wasted your time, which is fine. But at the end of the day, it's just like more of a self-reflection point.
I like how I guess there's degen in terms of like the gambling aspect, like trading whatever's in meta, and then there's
Mhm.
like the builder side of things. Like for instance, Joe
Yeah,
from the
that's the beauty
community,
of it. Yeah.
he's exploring what it's like to launch a project on pub.fun, and I was there watching from the beginning, and I was just watching him get really excited. But like
Mhm.
because I'd done that in 2020 to 2022, I know what's going to happen. But like
Yeah.
I'm just watching him kind of discover things for the first time, and
That's
yeah,
so
no,
funny.
it's yeah, it's
You know,
interesting because like yeah,
yeah, Jesse, he's
no,
gonna go from like you to that initial point of where like he's just like dabbling, and then he's gonna like start exploring like mev bots that are running on these platforms. It's
I
just
hope
like
he
gonna get
doesn't.
deeper and deeper and deeper. Yeah, dude,
I'll be interviewing a automation slash botting company or framework here next week on hashing it out. Check that one
oh
out.
no shit.
Ooh,
There you go.
Is it
Silverback.
flashbots?
Silverback
Oh no.
silverback
Flash
gorilla.
bots.
Yeah.
It's intense.
From
I mean,
Apeworks.
I
I feel like
approached
I
this
heard of
kin
him.
from like a bastion of the people, like the
Yeah.
people's champ, like the Rock, and but darker, and depending on an angle, slightly more handsome. And I just I introduced Avalanche to somebody 4 years ago, 3 4 years ago,
Mm.
changed their life,
Mm.
right? And then this normal person took out a portion, a sizable, impactful portion of their savings of their life, and was like, "I'm buying all this chicken egg." And I was like, "Don't buy digital
Dude,
chicken eggs, dude.
no, yeah.
Don't buy digital chicken eggs, dude. That's not what you want to do." And he's like, "No, man.
Trust
Look
me,
at
I got you
these.
in here.
I know what I'm doing now, and I want to thank you for this."
I'm
And
the
I'm like,
crypto now.
stop. Don't do that. And he did it. And now we're 2 years after obviously chicken is going to do what all NFTs do.
Yeah.
And now I feel like he's got this disdain for me because he's like, you didn't prevent me from buying all these fake digital chicken eggs. And I'm like, I didn't tell you to do any of that. And so it's like, as a bastion of the people, that is where crypto frustrates me to the highest end, is like, we can mature, guys. We can mature and we can kind of fulfill some of the original promises that we had if we try hard enough. But I don't know if we're ever going to have enough human energy to try hard enough.
I
I just
see it's
don't think
very,
so.
very hard to say that because I've made so many of my friends millionaires, and then I've also made a lot of my friends millionaires and they lose it all. And then like they're like, I'm gonna fucking kill you. And I'm just like, well, that
Please don't.
sucks for
It's
you,
not your
man.
fault though.
You
It's not your
know
fault
what I'm saying
though.
though? Like it's like paper hand whatever, or whatever the case may be. Like that's not like I never came for like you need to do this, you need to do that. I was just simply showing you like, hey, this is what meta is, or this is what a validator node is, or this is
Mhm.
how you can capitalize if you're doing this strategy or this and that. Like as far as assets, I've never like directly shielded anything else besides Bitcoin, not even Ethereum, to be quite frankly, which I'm a big bag holder of Ethereum. But I just felt like at the end of the day the principle was just always to just stay based on that one, right? And let other
Yeah.
people kind of dabble and figure it out themselves. But like it's just human nature to sometimes unfortunately blame the faults of their own decision making on other people. And like I was gonna bring this up before you brought that, that last point up, but you had this old bear market, bull market tempo tracker. What was it? The auntie was it the
The Auntie Index?
Oh
the
yeah,
auntie index?
Auntie
Yeah, yeah,
Index.
yeah,
it's such a
yeah.
good one.
Yeah, it really is. And I think, with that being said, like the Auntie index, like, when it's swinging too far to the right or too far to the left, or however you measure it, you have to be in consideration of like maybe we should just like not be
off a little
trying
bit.
to yeah, and maybe just showing people like, hey, because like I've always approached it from like a hey, this is the technology, this is really cool. Never like, hey, you need to like throw your
Mhm.
entire life savings in, because for whatever the case may be. But yeah, no, I think like, you coming back into that consideration of your friend, like I wouldn't feel upset or guilty about it because, at the end of the day, we're all human and we're all just trying to help each other out in some way, shape, or form. And like if some people take it a little bit too more extreme than the others, and it's kind of like the fault of their own nature, like what can we do about that?
Yeah, I get that, and he gets that, but I know deep down he's got that grain of
Yeah,
I want
of
to punch this
course.
guy
Yeah,
in
but
the
that's the
face.
same as like here's the
He's
thing,
all,
right? Like we started out with, adoption was the only thing that matters, and then
yeah,
we have
yeah.
the
I remember
auntie.
you guys were calling like Burger King and shit. That shit was awesome.
Yeah, but like that auntie index shifts over time because with each new wave we have a even further expansion of like exposure to different parts of crypto, like Robinhood. Like
Yeah.
we have all these different platforms that give people such easy exposure to these things.
Mm-hmm.
It's not real ownership, but it's exposure, and then it just gives them this free license to like do the same thing they do with like penny stocks or whatever.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
Exactly.
then they do it, and you're like, "Well, crypto's bad." I was like, "You've done the same thing with penny stocks. Like, this is your fault."
Mhm.
And so,
Yeah.
our ability to keep people informed and making sane decisions, my advice has been the exact same this whole way through. But because the exposure has changed and grown rapidly, more difficult to keep people on that sane advice because it's so easy for them to fuck up.
Yeah. Yeah, that is true.
I
That is
never
true.
gave
I remember
any
when you guys were
advice.
only talking about like just Bitcoin and Ethereum, and then like alts started coming out, and you're like maybe Litecoin, and then like that was it. And then all these like the whole market got flooded, and Nick, you're just like, all right, this is where
And
you should
Joe's
focus your
making
mind and attention
like,
on.
one of Joe's products he's launching is basically like, hey, there's a bunch of shit out there. You want to turn it back into something that's useful? Because
Yeah.
this exposure is so massive, right? He's like, hey, you got a bunch of dust and crap in there.
Yeah.
Want to make it something useful real fast? And like,
Yeah, I like Joe's.
Wasn't weren't you guys sponsored by somebody that was like similar to that? It was like a
lawnmower.
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 Yeah, way
But
back in the day.
but Lawnmower was a service that allowed you to round up your
Round up.
spending
Okay,
and
that's what it
then
was.
invest in
Yeah,
Bitcoin.
Yeah, so
Like,
that was really cool. That was such a cool thing, but I think regulatory capture or problems got them messed up with Coinbase.
Yeah.
So like, you'd use your credit card, and then it would round up, and then you buy that amount of whatever that roundup is in Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
it was
I remember
awesome.
that was
I
really
love that.
really awesome.
I wonder what
those
guys
two
are doing these
dudes,
days.
they're doing. I know they're doing well, man. I ran
Fuck
into
'em.
one of them at a what? I ran into him at a Miami Bitcoin conference, and it just seemed like he was working for. Damn, I forget who he was working for. It was one of those huge companies in crypto, like Circle-esque, and he was just kind of predicting a lot of what's happening right now with stablecoins. He was like,
Who runs
"Yeah, stablecoins are
Consensus?
going to be the play."
CoinDesk?
Huh?
CoinDesk.
Who owns Consensus?
Who runs the Consensus conference? The CoinDesk?
I think so. I
CoinDesk.
think it's CoinDesk.
CoinDesk runs that.
I think he was working for them.
CoinDesk?
Yeah.
That makes sense. CoinDesk is rather large. I loved CoinDesk for a long time.
I'm going to
CoinDesk.
find out what those dudes' names were and what they're doing. That's on
CoinDesk.
LinkedIn.
Yeah,
You know,
we made a
there's
theme
there's
song for
another
them.
one of your old guests. There's another one of your old guests that's still up and running. Is Plutus.
Yeah,
Plutus is still running.
Plutus is still going. Yep.
No
Yeah,
way.
Plutus is going strong.
Dude, they're
I
still fucking running strong.
Don't believe you.
They're
Yeah, no,
very,
see,
very
no,
strong.
yeah, they never
Yep.
changed.
You know who else is expanding
like,
too?
Kudos to them. Like, good shit. you know?
Bitwage. Bitwage is turning into a big
Bitwage.
deal here in the States because of it
I
allows
remember
people
Bitwage,
if they want to get paid in crypto, they can. So,
yeah.
but then
good
Coinbase
stuff.
is eating their Coinbase is kind of eating their lunch with you can direct deposit straight into Coinbase and like automate all of your investing now, which
Yeah.
is something that I really
And
am thinking.
I think
of
there
taking
was
advantage of
another
some
one too where you can like do your deposits directly into Bitcoin. I think it was like Strike or something like that way
Mhm.
back in like 2023, 2024. I don't know if
That
they're
sounds
still
very
relevant.
familiar.
So this is
Yeah, I
interesting. We
think
got four.
Russell Akong, I think he was one of them. He's like the NFL guys. He was like investing in them back in the day.
Yep.
Oh,
I've been
yeah,
trying to
yeah.
get him on the show for years. He does not like small podcasts. I will tell you that much.
Yeah.
He is a
He's a
he
cool
is a
guy,
I'm
though,
going
yeah.
on ESPN or broke for Mr. Russell Okung. But
Man, that sucks.
Yeah,
I
he's
follow.
cool
I
dude,
remember
kind of.
following him initially with the when he was doing like the fasting stuff, right? And I was just like, oh, this is cool. And then I was like, oh, he's a Bitcoin guy. Like that's even cooler. Like, you know, let's keep it real.
He did 100-day fast. It's crazy.
Yeah, yeah. I went to like 28, and I was like, I'm gonna blow my shit off. Like, there's no fucking way I keep going.
You fasted for
28
28 days.
days?
Yeah,
Dude, I'm probably gonna
28
do
days.
28 hours, dude. Food is so
Oh,
good.
Wait,
it's so bad. It's such a mental like hang up, you know? And then like when you finally see, I messed up, dude. Like I don't know if you guys are like Southern California familiar, but like when I broke my fast, I went to the Hat, which is like this pastrami dip spot. Just like started grubbing on a pastrami dip, and then like I'm like passing out there in the booth. Like I'm not gonna wake up from this. I'm gonna die
I
of a
heard it's
pastrami
harsh when
dip.
you I heard it's harsh when you eat solid foods after fasting. Were you doing like
Oh,
a water fast
immediately.
or is it like a juice
Yeah,
fast? Like how did you do that?
it was broth and water
Oh
at
Oh
the
my
shit.
god.
time.
Okay.
Yeah. So
That's
like
rough.
when I took my first meal, I didn't know because like I'm just kind of just like gruntly doing things half the time in life. And I was just like, oh, cool. You know, my fast is over. I can't do this anymore. Like, I'm just going to go pick up a sandwich. And then I midway into the sandwich, I was like, oh my God, like, why am I so sleepy? Like, I can't stay
Why
awake. This
why
sucks.
why did you do the fast in the first place? Like what prompted that? Just watching the
Just
sky
like,
do it?
no, it was just more. No, no, this is way before Russell. This is just more of like
Okay.
a personal thing. Like I was just like, I want to get into fasting because I feel like it helps, you know, learning more of like self-control, you know, body health, and then just like also like patience, right? Because I
Hmm.
feel like I can't stress that enough. Like, you know, as you expand into certain things in different areas, like, you know, especially as a trader, like you just need to learn that patience virtue because that's just, I don't know, it's beneficial. I mean, like some of you guys are dads, like isn't patience like such the best thing for you to accomplish? Like as you know, you're kind of like having these kids grow up, like
Yeah,
it's
why
just
don't you
little things
speak
like
on
that, you
patience,
know.
guys?
Dude. If,
I mean,
when you
shit, like
finally
you guys started
achieve
in
it,
2015, you know, like talk about fucking patience, you know,
it's
like
very true. It's very true.
still here. So
Um,
like you guys have a lot of those virtues already, you know. It's just a matter of execution.
Wow.
I'm not going anywhere. I just am I'm turning into an old cranky
You
because it's
are.
like
Same.
You're a curmudgeon, old
Same.
curmudgeon.
Yeah.
we're doing all of this. It's all motion and no action. Like that's the way it
Mm,
feels like for me. It's like we're doing all of these things and nothing is really changing. Right? Like nothing is changing. We're just
but what
doing
type of
stuff.
change do you want though? Like, you know, like it's I feel like the
I don't
change
want
that's
dudes
around
walking
you is
around thinking
good.
they're worth $2 trillion. That's what I don't want. That
Well,
would be like one.
that is a tech industry issue. That is a
I
fundamental
think it's a
tech
human
industry issue. I
issue.
don't.
This
I think
dude's
it's.
just like off
Yeah,
the map.
yeah. It's. I think a
I
lot
think
of it
it.
doesn't necessarily like it's applicable to our space in a sense, but it's not like you know you have to also consider inflation. Like there's this fundamental
The
issues
reason I
that
get
kind of
cranky is for
circumvent around
10
it. You know.
years, I've been talking on not this microphone, but a microphone, and even off the microphone, saying, "Hey, this is gonna happen because math works." And
Yeah.
then people are like, "Nah," and I'm like, "Yeah, I mean, math has rules, and the inflation of money forever is not a rule that can continue forever. So like you
Yeah.
gotta, buy some Bitcoin, buy some other app, do that thing, and then humans, all the humans, even ones that more educated than me, more experienced than me, that trust me fully, they're just like, no, that's stupid. What you're saying is a dumb thing. And I'm like, okay, all right. And then as it starts to happen, they're still like, no, you're still saying dumb things. So like I'm at a point now where I am a little bit cranky. I'm like, okay, well humans are going to human and there's no stopping that. So we can
Mhm.
whether it's Bitcoin, whether it's Ethereum, whether it's I don't know, Mars token, whether it's Saturn bucks, doesn't matter. We're just going to humans are going to human and we're
Yeah.
not really
I think
changing much.
I think blockchain technology as a whole consensus is not going to affect the distribution of wealth, nor is it going to help inflation, nor is it going to help human greed in that aspect,
Mm.
unfortunately. But like, I do think that like it's helping distribution in the sense. I mean, I hate to be that guy, but like, I know a lot of, Filipino communities who just made bags off of, like Axie Infinity, right? Like Ronin and back then. Like I know a lot of Vietnamese communities that have made insatiable amounts through BFC season. I think it's helped a lot of people circumvent like a lot of Western accents back into their own localities in a sense. I have a lot of friends who started, trapping in the hood all the way down to like now they're just like living at large in Miami and doing things great for themselves, and like in a professional manner too. It's just like, so I think that the distribution of wealth from a blockchain narrative happens, but it's more so from a technological distribution versus like an actual, like there's one asset that's helping everybody. I think it's just the opportunity. It's opportunistic in that sense. It's not like the assets themselves are doing anything. I think it's just people coming in early, doing something nice, and then like figuring it out for themselves, which unfortunately aligns more with gambling. It really does sometimes. But yeah, that's just
It's all
people are
gambling.
taking
Everything's
yeah, people are
gambling.
taking gambles. Yeah, people are taking gambles, and sometimes it's paying off. And
The only
unfortunately,
thing, the only difference between
paying-
gambling and
yeah.
investment is confidence.
There you go. Yeah. It's who's saying it, right? It's coming from a guy in a suit or
Put
a
that
kind
on a
of
shirt.
t-shirt.
Put that on a shirt right there. Who said that?
I said
Did
that. I just made that up.
Yes,
Coin
sir.
that shit. Somebody, whoever's gonna edit this.
Someone has had to have
put-
said that, but I just made it up.
I don't think so, man. I've read the investing books by the guys. Was it Ray
Yeah,
Dalio?
It's by the guys. All the
That's the
guys.
first time I've heard that one.
Well, like there's Ray Dalio, there's the Oracle Omaha dude, and there's that other guy, Munger. I've read their books.
Well,
Nobody
yeah,
said
what about
that, Corey.
the
Corey, write a
New York
book.
2000s guy.
I am writing
The
a
one with
book.
The big
Just
ass
not about
chin.
that.
What's his name?
Make sure you're using like AI to help you with that.
I've been looking up the where the founders of Lawnmower went. They're all kind of, one guy just fell off the map. Alex Sonnenberg
That's
works for
awesome.
some investment holdings company. Peter Gorsiga is a staff data engineer at BlockFi. Patrick, check what he's doing here real quick. I hit him up just to make sure, see if they want to come
Yeah.
on and say what's up.
Now I want to like
AI and
I wanna
automation.
use-
He's it.
I want to
all over the
leverage
place.
my crypto knowledge and experience into
Head of
putting
automation
money
at
into my
TRM
own
Labs.
pockets. That's what I
They did
wanna
a great
do.
job. All these guys went on to do some cool stuff. They all went through
Yeah.
CoinDesk though. Interesting enough, I think Lawnmower got bought by CoinDesk, and then they I guess individually went their separate ways within
Their own
CoinDesk,
separate
and
ways.
all
Yep.
then went on to some financial or data engineering position somewhere else, which seems to be
It's
the
really
kind of
cool.
standard track
Yeah.
over time.
Yeah. You see a lot of products come out like that. They kind of hit a certain sector, scale up pretty well. They get a certain valuation. They either get bought out, acquired, or just like sunset, right? And
Well,
unfortunately, those really good products don't hit massive market size, but like we are like, hey, yeah, that was really great. But unfortunately, like my mom's never fucking heard of them, like you're pretty sure your family guys, like, yeah, I've never heard of them. But yeah, no, I mean, it's really good to
there's
see
so
some people
much.
find success in that sense,
There's so much success in places that no one's ever heard of. I mean, like the majority of finances happens in the places that no one's ever heard of. Like even the most
Yeah.
expensive, valuable companies in the world are things that no one's ever heard of. So like,
Yeah. My mom doesn't know who the fuck Stripe is.
you know, the East India
like-
Trading Company is still like,
It's still
There.
there. Yeah.
it's still like, it's like $400 trillion.
It's insane. It's insane, man. It's insane.
So, I guess
nobody knows
then-
this shit.
This conversation has actually been kind of enlightening. Is that my scope for change needs to shrink down, and like maybe, just maybe, blockchain and crypto is going to change like the B2B world, right? It's going to change
Yeah.
how things operate with B2B, which quite frankly, B2B kind of runs the show. I mean, like B to consumer is
Unfortunately,
great. If you can do a B2C business and it works great for you, congratulations, hats off to you. But B2B is like, that's where the rubber meets the road, like where you're servicing big chunks and swaths of people all at once, because just trying to satisfy one customer is enough. And like maybe if there's a change there, then maybe there will be some, what do they call it, trickle down effects.
Yeah,
no doubt.
Everybody
there's
else.
still a section of us that are holding off with building infrastructure that changes society. It's not just this
Yeah,
kind of like
of course.
capitulation into, I guess we got to remake the financial industry. Like,
Yeah. No.
there's still quite a few of us that aren't as loud or throwing as much money around that are trying to do something different.
But I think
is
that's the
more
beauty
akin to
of
early
it too,
Bitcoin.
though, right? Yeah, that's the beauty of it too, though. Because there's a lot of great product out there and like a lot of great things being built out there that don't necessarily need people beating their drum and
Yeah.
being on Instagram, TikToks, and all this other nonsense, because that's not the quote unquote market share. And I think that's my biggest point too, is like I think it's great to attack the wider net, and like how you were talking about, D, like, oh, I need to think of it from a wider thing, but now I got to scope it down. No, I think it's just there's different fits along this industry sector, and I think we can't put everybody in the same baskets.
Not anymore.
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially not on today's age. Maybe back in the day, it was pretty cool to kind of like segment everybody in like 3 corners, but now there's like 1,000 fucking corners. It's very interesting.
So if you think about it from that perspective, right? Like the crypto technology, like the whole thing, the underlayment of how all the stuff works, different networks and their differences or whatever, is just a more generalized version of what we already had. So we'll still rebuild and improve on what we already had, but also do different things. So it's just more diverse, but it's not like in a lot of ways, it's all gonna be the same shit. We just have more options to do more things. Hopefully, for people like me, like we hope that like those new things take over and are better. But who knows? The powers that be are the powers that be.
I think the beauty of it is too, because you guys used to make this comparison way back in the day. It's like the internet, way a long time ago. Like people didn't realize that they're using the internet for the same things they're doing today, like 10 years ago, right? And the internet's been around for God knows how long at this point. But now from an application layer, from a consensus layer, like there's just so many different things being accomplished on the internet. I mean, shit, look what we're doing right now.
Yeah, for
we're
sure.
having this conversation here.
I was thinking about that shit just the other day.
It's just like, why can't that be applied to our sector in that sense? Like there's just so many different application layers and so many different things that are going to get accomplished over the next 10 years and have been accomplished over the first 10 years. And I think that's really cool, so it's like, for my cypherpunk bros, like never lose hope, like we're definitely changing something as a whole conceptually, but it's just a matter of like, understanding that there's just different inflection points.
Words of wisdom from somebody in the trenches. Thank you, Ken.
For 28 days.
Thank you, Ken, for joining us.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you're listening, we hope you enjoyed the conversation. You're more than likely listening. A lot of people don't watch us. It's okay if you don't. You're just missing 3 incredibly handsome individuals talk about crypto, and that's your fault. But if you do watch us, click all the clickety clicks below. And I don't know, tell your friends and family about us. Say like, hey, these guys are into crypto, but they're not crypto bros. They're crypto dudes. Right?
Yeah,
That's
crypto men.
We're crypto men,
dads.
Crypto dads and crypto men. And we have a different lens on this stuff. So shout out to Zoe Saldana. I see you, girl.
You're still running that?
Why wouldn't he? Wouldn't he be?
That's so awesome. That's so awesome. Never stop.
I even got the hall pass from wifey. She said, I totally understand.
Fuck yeah.
And I said, listen, you can have a hall pass too. Just don't let it be an NFL player, please. I can't follow that. I can't follow that. Like, you'll never look at me the same. Yeah.
Oh my God. I can't believe I heard you throwing that shout out for like a third of my life. That's awesome.
We see you, Zoe. One of these days we'll get you on the show and we're going to talk about that shitcoin that you sponsored and got sued for. Anyways, go to the bitcoinpodcast.com. You can see all of the episodes from season 1, all 400 episodes from season 1.
I'm going to redo the website so we can get them all. We start uploading stuff to a website.
And we have some episodes that you should be listening to right about the time you listen to this one. I don't know what else. What else do we have? Jesse, you want to talk about some stuff that we were doing, but then we had this impromptu curveball calling in Ken. We're supposed to talk about regulatory capture and the stuff that we're building.
Yeah, this was much better. Now we know more about Tether and that it's owned by Justin Sun. Did not
I
know
had
that.
no idea.
Got a scoop. Get scooped.
No.
I have a small story about Tether, but I can't tell it on this episode. I'll tell it in the next episode. Play the outro.
Thanks.